When your arm is being held up, that's called being passive because someone is helping you. And then if you're using your muscle and holding it up your own, it's called active. So my doctor didn't tell me that I would actively be able to do this and this. He meant passively, with someone holding my arm, be able to do this and this. So it kind of got my hopes up thinking, well, if I can do this and this, I can surely play my bass by 5 weeks, 4 weeks. But he meant passively with someone holding my arm, which kind of, really got my hopes down because I thought, well, maybe I can do it. Like, I could probably play my bass right now if I got more strength in my arm. But I mean, that's just not how it works. You need to, work up to it. Another thing that I was told was I don't have to wear my sling after my post-op, but they didn't tell me that I wouldn't be able to wear my sling only at home. I still have to wear my sling in public or in crowded places, and I have to wear it to sleep. So you're basically only not wearing it when you're at home and when you're relaxing. The reason for it is it's basically a reminder to other people that you're still hurt, and it's a reminder for yourself so that if you ever fall or something, you try and, protect yourself and not, kind of go out with your hand and stuff. You don't want to accidentally redo what you did before. You don't want to get another surgery. You don't want to mess up what you just did. So you want to just, make sure that, you don't do anything stupid or something. That's why you can't drive until 3 months down the road, because let's say someone else is in the car and you accidentally stop and your reaction is to go like this. Well, you can't do that with your arm being hurt, and you can't drive with one hand. I mean, you can, but it's like you should use two hands, and it's a safety hazard. So you shouldn't be doing that. And that's why you have to, wait till down the road, and it's kind of, just a reminder. So when you're at home, you can just not do anything. Now, a few hours after my post-op, I actually got my first day of PT, which lasted about an hour. I got it at 11:30, left it around 12:30. What they do on the very first day is you sign some paperwork, and then you kind of just talk to your PT person. My person who's a girl, is really, really nice, and she's really good. And so on the first day, they kind of make sure they didn't do any other tendons or anything. So they kind of say, do this, do thumbs up, do peace sign, do this, do that. And so they basically run small little tests to make sure that, you can do everything, and they didn't nick some nerves. And they just make sure that what they did is what they did. They didn't do anything else to your shoulder. They also make you stretch and do some other stuff with your left side, do some stuff with your right side, and they need to make sure that you're consistent, and they need to make sure that you're healthy and that you can do everything at the most that you can do. Another thing they did was massage. That was probably the worst part of PT today. All of the stretches and the exercises that they make you do don't necessarily hurt. What my lady told me is she said that when I'm doing some of my exercises, one of them is your right hand pulls your right arm, and you need to pull it to the point where you have pain, but it's bearable pain. And afterwards, your arm might be sore, so that's the only pain you get. But the massages are probably the worst. What happens is every time you dislocate your shoulder, your arm and kind of your bicep which is connected to the labrum, creates scar tissue. It's like the body's way of healing itself, but not actually helping. So it builds up a lot of the scar tissue, and what you can do is you can feel right here on the inside of your armpit, you can feel in the back, you can feel on the other side of your back or your armpit, and you can kind of feel that it's really lumpy in that area. Go in the same places on your non-dominant arm or wherever you didn't get it done, and you can feel that it's not as bumpy and it's actual muscle. That's when you can tell that if it's scar tissue or not. When she massages you, what she's doing is she's trying to, it's basically so she can, when she massages, it's not just I'm at the spa massage. It's I'm gonna dig my fingers into your skin massage. And what she was trying to do to me is break that scar tissue up so eventually it'll go away, and you won't have it under your incisions, and you won't have it anywhere else in your bicep or anything, and basically break all that scar tissue away. She also warned me that while we're doing PT, I might be raising my arm or something, and then I get a pop and it hurts, but as long as it goes away for 10 seconds and I'm fine, then it's totally fine. If it lasts longer, you should talk to someone and you should let them know that your arm popped and now it's hurting a lot. So if it only lasts for 10 seconds, that means that it's scar tissue that's, breaking away. It's nothing else, and it shouldn't be that big of a deal. I also just want to say the schedule that I was given is, my PT days are Monday, Wednesday, and Thursday, and I just have one session and that's it. And basically what I have to do a day is I have to do my exercises once a day, and I have to do my stretches twice a day. So my stretches just to conclude of me doing this and this, and just stretching over here just to warm it up, and then I have to do my exercises throughout the day. Now if it's the day of PT, just do your stretches once a day and then do your stretches again at the place and your exercises. If it's on your day, just do stretches in the morning, afternoon, do your exercises whenever. So you just need to make sure that you plan it correctly. That's what another thing you'll be given is you're basically given a protocol, which I was given, which is basically a schedule of the whole recovery process of what you're able to do and not do. So in weeks 1 to 4, I'm able to do basically nothing. So that's what you guys are probably going to have to do. And then from weeks 5 to 6, it gets more intricate and stuff. So that's basically what you're given. Another thing is I want to talk to the softball and baseball people and what I was told how I'm going to be throughout the season. So I can start swinging the bat and running the bases at 12 weeks, which is 3 months. I will have the motion down, but I won't have the strength yet. It'll take about 2 to 3 weeks after the 3-month mark before I can have the strength back to a good enough where I can be repetitive. At 3 months, you'll be able to swing the bat a few times, but if you're going to go competitive, it's not going to happen until 2 to 3 weeks afterwards, and that's just starting to be competitive. You might be able to be competitive at 3.5 months, which is, 2 weeks afterwards, and then my throwing program will actually start at 4 months. So I'm going to have 3 full months of PT, and then after that, you're actually on your own, and it's not like a throwing program at like a clinic or something. You're actually doing it on your own with, whoever. And it's a throwing program that I got from the Orioles. That was like an Orioles Get Back to Throwing program, and that's what I'm going to be using. And basically what my PT instructor told me is she said that at first it's like you throw 20 times from 25 feet because by then your arm is going to be fine. And then after that, you're going to throw from 30 feet. But what happens is if you wake up and your arm starts to hurt, you have to keep throwing at 25 feet until your arm isn't sore the next day or it doesn't hurt during it. And then you can continue to 30 feet, 40 feet, 50 feet, or however it's going to take you. Now, it probably shouldn't take long. You should probably feel good enough till 5 months, but you probably won't be 100% till 6 months after. It's a legit 6-month recovery. Now for me, that's August, and that's when tryouts are, which is great because that's when I need to be better. Now for me, you're basically, after you hit the hitting mark, you're basically just going to be a designated hitter for the rest of your season. Now my World Series is in late July. I probably won't be able to throw unless I'm at first base, which doesn't have to throw. I'm actually a catcher, first, and outfielder. My PT instructor told me that I won't be able to be throwing outfield. I won't be able to be catching and throwing by, the 6-month mark. So you can maybe try with first because you're not throwing that much, but you're really going to stretch it if you try catching, which I am. So you kind of just have to keep taking it slow and keep trying to, get it as good as possible to the point where you need it. Another thing is my doctor actually has to sign off when I can play. I'm really, 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 really hoping that once I'm able to hit, he'll sign me off and be like, you can only hit and run. But that may not be the case for some people. That may not be the case for me. He might be like, no, you have to be 100% in order to be able to play, which would really suck because, I basically won't be doing anything for 6 months. And what I do is I kind of, eat whatever I want and then be like, well, I'll work out at softball, but, I can't really do that anymore because I won't be doing anything. So you really need to make sure that, you're eating healthy and you're taking your vitamins and you're taking supplements and stuff like that, and you really need to make sure that, you're trying to keep in shape. Once they say you can use a stationary bike, you should start going to the gym and using a stationary bike. If they say you can start jogging at 4 miles an hour, you should start jogging at 4 miles an hour so you can just keep up, you know, your exercise and being able to stay in shape post when you can start playing again. So I need my doctor's permission to basically say you can play your sports. And I mean, it's not like you could just be like, hey, I can play, but you really just need to, like, you know, wait and be able to get that permission from your surgeon. One thing I want to add in is also, I do recommend to get an ice machine instead of, you know, just putting ice on. One, the ice hurts when you put it on because it's bulky, it's heavy. You kind of have to find the right mixture of ice and water to, you know, so it molds onto your shoulder. It also really leaks, and it's a real pain to, like, you know, keep bringing it back and forth. What I suggest is, if you get an ice machine, it's a switch on and a switch off, and you just have this pad that you put on, and you have these adhesive tape things. This is the actual machine. This tube comes all around to the pad, and this is the whole pad that you put on your shoulder. And these white things are, you know, Velcro adhesive things. So you have one long strap that goes from one part around your good arm to the other part. You got a medium one that, you know, you can wrap around your arm, or you can bring it all around, or you have a small one that you use to, you know, keep it down so it's on your shoulder, so you go from here to here. Now, this is what it looks like from the bottom. This is where all the water goes, and it kind of just, you know, shoots it right in. And then this is what it looks like on the top with all, you know, the straps on, because I've been using it. And, you know, it's kind of like a softest material. You also need to use like a towel or something to use between the pad and your skin, because there are some reports of getting frostbite because of this. So you want to be extra careful that, you know, you wear a shirt and you put a towel on it so, you know, you don't cause anything wrong. And you really make sure that you set a timer for it so you don't forget. And, you know, it's really going to help you throughout the first few days of surgery. I actually didn't have this on the first few days because we weren't provided with one. And, you know, the physician assistant really didn't say, oh, you need one. So we were just like, oh, okay, we'll just use ice. I don't recommend that. Just try and get the ice machine. It's worth the money. You're going to need it down the road. Probably one day if you're, you know, accident prone like me and, you know, you get a sprain or something. But that's just like one thing that you should really get and not wait to, you know, get one. Some people are offered it, some people aren't. If you aren't, I suggest getting it. If not, you can deal with the ice and getting up every 20 minutes. So that's it for this video. I'm sorry if it's really long. I feel like this is going to be the longest video out of all of mine. But I hope, you know, you got some information out of this. And what I'm going to be doing is I'm probably going to be keeping you guys updated from week to week, or, you know, every 2 weeks if I feel like updating. So that's probably how I'm going to be scheduling all of my stuff. So I hope you know, enjoyed the video and you got some information out of it, and look forward to the next one.